Anna Duggar has signed the divorce papers. The documents have already been sent to the jail. She removed her signature, reclaiming control over her own choices. This is the first public confirmation of her decisive break from her husband. The Duggar household, long a symbol of control and obedience, is now facing upheaval. Tensions are rising over debts and financial disputes with her father-in-law, Jim Bob. The quiet woman once defined by loyalty is now asserting her independence. Her actions are shocking to fans who always saw her as submissive. The divorce is more than legal. It's a statement, a reclaiming of identity. Anna Duggar is no longer silent. Her choices are speaking louder than words ever could. The door slammed behind Anna Duggar, and the sound echoed like thunder. For the first time, she has made a choice that no camera, no family pressure, no public expectation can reverse. She will not return to her in-laws' home. She will not play the part they scripted for her. Anna Duggar, once the devoted, quiet daughter-in-law, is stepping into a world she will shape on her own terms, and the shockwaves are already spreading through the Duggar empire. This is more than a family dispute. This is a seismic shift in a household built on obedience, control, and image. Jim Bob Duggar, the patriarch who once commanded loyalty with faith and authority, watches helplessly as his carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. For decades, the Duggar name stood as a symbol of purity, devotion, and success. But behind the cameras and smiling photos were contracts, rules, and unspoken demands that bound his children in invisible chains. And now those chains are breaking. Anna's silence is louder than any word could ever be. She has endured scandals, controversies, and betrayals, always standing by her husband, always maintaining the family image. But this silence is no longer submission. It is rebellion, courage, and reclamation of self. Experts on high-control family dynamics call it a textbook moment of awakening. Where she once followed, she now observes. Where she once obeyed, she now chooses. And in that choice lies a force no patriarch can control. Jim Bob Duggar's empire was built carefully. Every reality show appearance, every speaking engagement, every public sermon was a calculated step in a grand design, one where loyalty and silence were currency. Financial arrangements and legal contracts ensured that even as his children reached adulthood, they remained tethered to his control. But contracts, no matter how ironclad, cannot contain the human spirit, and Anna's departure is proof that the heart has a law all its own. Her decision is not impulsive. For years, she has lived in the shadow of expectation, watching as scandal after scandal threatened to tear the family apart. She witnessed the cracks in Josh Duggar's public persona, the fallout of hidden transgressions, and the manipulation of faith into a tool of obedience. Each revelation chipped away at the illusion of the perfect family, but each also strengthened her resolve. Her silence was survival. Her step away is liberation. Family psychologists note that this is the culmination of a predictable yet extraordinary journey. First comes loyalty, then doubt, followed by withdrawal, and finally transformation. Anna is now in the transformation phase, where silence turns into identity. Her refusal to speak publicly is not weakness. It is strategy, it is reflection, and it is power. Every moment she spends outside the Duggar spotlight is a reclaiming of autonomy that decades of control could not suppress. Public reaction has been electric. Fans who once celebrated Jim Bob's authority are questioning everything. Supporters of Anna are rallying around her quiet courage, recognizing the bravery it takes to step away from a life dictated by fear and expectation. Religious scholars weigh in, noting the tension between faith and control. Belief can inspire, but when wielded to manipulate, it becomes a tool of oppression. Anna's story is now more than a family saga. It is a reflection of systemic issues in high-control households everywhere. The contracts that have surfaced are a key part of this story. They are not merely legal documents. They are symbols of dominance, loyalty, and suppression. Adult children allegedly needed Jim Bob's permission to pursue personal ventures or control their earnings. Critics call it exploitation disguised as protection. For Anna, these contracts were both cage and mirror, reflecting the cost of obedience and the weight of imposed silence. Yet despite all of this, Anna's image in the public eye is ascending. Her quiet defiance resonates with millions, especially women, who see themselves in her struggle, balancing faith, loyalty, and personal freedom. Her story highlights a universal truth: silence is not surrender. It can be a shield, a form of self-preservation, and, ultimately, a weapon. Jim Bob's control is weakening, and the cracks are visible. Hidden deals, secret management decisions, and restrictive contracts have begun to unravel, revealing a reality far removed from the curated perfection the Duggars displayed for years. The contrast between public perception and private reality has created a backlash that even loyal followers cannot ignore. The patriarch, once unshakable, now faces an influence slipping away not because of scandalous revelations alone, but because those he controlled have learned to assert themselves through absence and restraint. Anna's journey is a study in resilience. Family counselors note that high-control environments demand compliance, often erasing personal identity. But once a person recognizes the dynamics at play, the first step to healing is detachment. Emotional, psychological, and sometimes physical. Anna is doing exactly that. Her silence, her absence, her refusal to participate in the scripted family narrative. These are the hallmarks of a woman reclaiming her life on her own terms. The media and public continue to dissect the story, searching for scandal, confession, or confrontation. Yet Anna offers none of these. There is no dramatic reveal, no tell-all interview. Her power lies in what she doesn't do. She refuses to perform, she refuses to comply, and in doing so, she asserts the most profound message of all: freedom is quiet, subtle, and undeniable. The contrast between Anna and Jim Bob could not be starker. He embodies structure, image, and control. She embodies introspection, resilience, and truth. Their collision is not explosive in the conventional sense, but it is seismic in consequence. The Duggar Empire, long defined by appearances, is now defined by tension, reflection, and the inevitable consequences of unchecked authority. Cultural analysts point out that the Duggars are emblematic of a larger phenomenon: the intertwining of fame, faith, and power. What began as a family reality show became a brand, a business, and a moral standard imposed on millions. Yet branding comes at a cost. Privacy, authenticity, and personal agency are often the first sacrifices. Anna's decision to step away illuminates the human toll of that trade-off. What makes Anna's silence revolutionary is its refusal to be interpreted. Each moment she chooses her own space, each step outside the family spotlight, communicates volumes without a single word. It is a lesson in quiet resistance, that autonomy is not always loud, that power can exist in restraint, and that survival sometimes requires a deliberate absence. The Duggar saga continues, but its narrative has shifted. Jim Bob's authority, once unquestioned, now faces challenge not from rebellion, but from the quiet assertion of self by those he once controlled. Anna Duggar has moved from background figure to a symbol of strength, a testament to endurance, self-discovery, and the transformative power of silence. This is not simply a story of contracts, loyalty, or scandal. It is a story of awakening. Anna's quiet defiance demonstrates that control, no matter how thorough, can never withstand truth. And truth, even when unspoken, has a voice that cannot be ignored. As the world watches, Anna Duggar stands firm, silent, and resolute. Her journey is far from over, but one thing is unmistakable: the silence that Jim Bob can no longer command is the sound of freedom taking shape. And in that silence, Anna is no longer just a member of the Duggar family. She is a force, quietly, undeniably, unstoppable. Thanks for watching.